Talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon, broadcasting here out of the Sunset Gower Studios with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network, and then every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 6 on my CNBC NBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3 and FM 106.5. You would think after all these years and times, and then everywhere on iHeartRadio. And I just found out I'm also on Spotify. So there you go. 6-year on the air show this month. Last week was exactly 6 years, May 1st. I cannot believe I've been splattering hope and happiness all over you. And I'm super grateful. Today is show number 314, and it's consecutive and different. So I am super grateful, and thank you to all of my listeners and supporters, Shishya, for all that you do to hold me up. And I'm going to give a shout out to all the fabulous people who I got to meet last week. My final 8 days on a 15-day, non-stop, 18-hour-per-day tour of duty with 22 red carpets, 3 conferences, 1 festival, 1 anniversary show, and 2 galas. Yes, I juice my life. So we'll start with my peace in, peace out to my kids on the U.S. Sailing Center team boat. Yes, sailboat racing season has just started last week, and not only do I get there to be on the water for my own wave therapy, I get to teach kids how to race. This series, I have my kids from the NAACP. And all the great people that I got to meet at Lisa Nichols Speak and Write Conference, especially her grandma, Mrs. B, her son, Chef Jay, and girlfriend Maya, who's winning her battle with cancer, and all my Agape Love Burrito peeps that were there, especially getting a lot of great information from Lisa's business partner, Susie Carter, who gave me many BOLs, which are breakthroughs out loud. And now it's another special show, because you know this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian talk at all, because I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And it's a special show today. It's Mother's Day show, as well as celebrating my 6th year on the air. If you haven't watched last week, I had Marianne Ross from Happy Days, the mom, to celebrate the 6 years and Mother Day month. I've had Fran Drescher, Leave It to Beaver, Jerry Mathers, Gilligan's Island, Marianne, Don Wells, Potsy, and Corey Feldman, mega best-selling authors Dr. John Gray, Janine Roth, Marianne Williamson, Neil Donald Walsh. So if you've missed any of those fabulous shows and more, please do go to my YouTube and free subscribe, and you'll get them there, or my iTunes, and you can give me stars. 5 would be absolutely fabulous to continue to support this run. And of course, Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother, has been on several times, Muhammad Ali's daughter, and I'm just knowing that this is the start of 6th year with many more to come. Now, it is a special show, so who could I not have but the mother of invention? If I'm going to have a Mother's Day guest, I'm going to have the mother of invention. She's called The Voice for Conscious Evolution of Our Time by Dr. Deepak Chopra. She's the subject of Neil Donald Walsh's book, The Mother of Invention. Barbara Marx Hubbard is a prolific author of 9 books, a visionary social innovator and educator, and also the co-founder and co-chair of the Foundation for Conscious Evolution. In 1984, Barbara's name was placed in nomination for the vice presidency of the United States on the Democratic ticket, proposing a peace room as sophisticated as a war room. I really wish you had one. She is the co-founder of the Association of New Thought, AGNT, the World Future Society, and is a member of the Club of Budapest. I was present for George Nouri's Lifetime Achievement Award presented to her at the Conscious Life Expo earlier this year. And so I am so delighted to have on my show Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a great show you have, and how many you've had, really.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm so glad.
For the new humanity.
Yes, it's a perfect audience, and you are 88 years young, I think.
I'm 88. Mm-hmm. Can you think of it going on 90? I've actually been telling people I'm 90.
Well, Chinese, you're actually 89.
Not nearly as interesting as 90.
Oh, no. I absolutely love the number 88. That's why I say, yeah, it's a Chinese number that's a homonym for good fortune twice. So I love 88.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so 88 is good. So my first question to you is, will you ever retire?
No.
Exactly, and I knew that. I
might expire, but I won't retire.
Oh, nice. Nice. When did you first feel like this was your calling? I mean, you are a renaissance. You're a pioneer, talking about things that people weren't talking about years ago. So what happened? Was there a burning bush or...
I'll tell you what there was. The thing that really woke me up was when I was very much younger, of course, but it was when the United States dropped the atomic bombs on Japan. And I had thought that power was good, life was good, intelligence was good. And then I suddenly saw, if we use that power in our state of consciousness, which is to win over and to dominate and control, that we would surely kill the world, not just the United States, but the world would kill itself. So here's how I got started. I asked the universe a question. What's the meaning of our new power that's good? How come humans are gaining powers of ancient gods? And of course, now it's nanotech and biotech and quantum computing and robotics. If you actually think of it, Marissa, this generation, starting with the atomic bomb and then moving all the way up to all of these very high-tech capabilities, are gaining powers of mythological gods, as well as growing in spirituality and growing in life purpose. But the new powers was what started me up, the question of the meaning of the new powers of humanity.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing to each other?
And our generation is the one making the shift, because the devolutionary cycle also is speeding up.
Interesting.
So we have to know, a key phrase I finally got was, our crisis is a birth.
Right. Almost like the coming out of the cocoon.
Yes. The crisis of the birth of a co-creative humanity that has never been seen before.
Interesting.
We've seen the butterfly come out of the cocoon, but we've never seen ourselves.
Right.
We really don't know if you take health, education, economics, science and technology, et cetera, and put all of that together in a cooperative way, you would see the outline of a future so awesome that nobody could hardly believe it. And at the other hand, we do hear the news of everything that isn't working under ordinary use in TV and so on. So most people don't know what's being born on the big collective scale. They don't know it.
Right. What do you think? Do you think, we listen to the news and the most often reaction is the world is going to HELL in a handbasket, is what I hear. And then on the other hand, because I'm all about balance and I look for the good, it seems like more and more people are, looking within. I hear ads on YouTube for meditation, which I never in a gazillion years thought that was going to happen. And your beloved friend and my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, just on Stage Sunday said, 40 years ago, would you have ever imagined the things that are going on now, Kanye West having a show with Martha Stewart and Donald Trump being president. So what is your take on where we're going? Are we getting worse? Are we getting better? What's going on?
I think we're the birth analogy is very good because birth is dangerous. Now, we happen to have seen biological birth, so we know what it is. But if you had never heard of biological birth and suddenly you've got labor pains and this is happening to you, and then you see the result of it is this newborn little being that looks a mess.
Right.
And if you didn't know, you would think this is a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact is, we don't know because we've never seen a planetary society with this degree of power to destroy and create come into the choice point of devolution or conscious evolution. It's not just automatically like the birth of a biological organism. Nature's been practicing that for billions of years, but you know what? Humans have not been practicing having to take some responsibility for the direction, not just of their own future, but the future of humanity. We don't have the politics for it. We don't have the news media for it. We have a couple of marvelous places like Agape, but very few in general. So I would say that everybody who possibly can tell us and make a synthesis of what's working, what's creative, and what's coming is doing the greatest service for humanity right now, like you, Marissa.
Aww.
It's really, really important.
Thank you, Barbara. I so appreciate that validation and support. So was there a moment, I read up a little bit on Wikipedia. Your father sounds like a fascinating man, like extreme businessman, brilliant, with a mind of a child. Now, it's not every day. Tell me what that was like.
He made toys, so that he loved toys. And he loved children until they got to be about 6.
Oh.
And he lost touch, but
okay.
4 to 6 years old was really a highlight.
Right. So you had a good 4 to 6.
No, his toys were really good.
Oh, I see.
For the children. And, I'm he had 4 children and I was the oldest.
Oh,
and
you were the oldest. Okay.
I grew up with tons of toys.
Toys.
Not only my father's toys, but Mark's toys, but his competitors' toys and everybody's toys. And I realized very young toys would not make you happy. It was actually an interesting epiphany.
And so when you realized it wasn't going to, is that when you sort of began, you're a great theorist and you have a way of communicating with analogies that really help people understand. And so that were you in writing? Like, how did you shift over into what you're doing? Because you're as a woman too. In those days, I don't think women were.
It's something that I recommend for everybody. When I was 18, I was at Bryn Mawr College, and I started a journal. And I have 202 volumes of that journal now.
Wow.
They're being put on internet through the Ishar Foundation that Deepak Chopra originated. And what I have learned to do with the journal writing is say, here's the world situation, or here's my personal situation. And then I would have double quotation marks. And I call God, dearly beloved. What does this mean and what am I to do? And then I would turn off my mental figuring it out mind. And I learned through journal writing to have an open mind where you ask the divine process, however you see it, to inform you about what's happening and what to do and how to speak of it. When you do that, and I highly recommend it for everybody.
Yeah.
You discover there's so much going on internally that if you don't stop to ask, and not only just ask once, but write it down, reread it. I have all these volumes. It's actually a treasure.
Beautiful.
It's a treasure of a journey, because I happen to have lived the lifespan of the shift of the culture.
Yes, you have.
From 1929 to 2018. You see, we thought everything we had, of course, the Depression, but people I knew, my father knew the generals of the Second World War. So, and I knew Eisenhower and Walter Bedell Smith and George Marshall. And they were great men, and we had won a great victory. However, there was no sense of direction for the future. And people said, thought we'd succeeded, but then came the population crisis, the civil rights crisis, the crisis of culture in general. And I woke up in the mid-60s through my meeting with Dr. Jonas Salk.
Oh, is that polio, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And he was creating the Salk Institute for the very same question: what is the scientific base of our power that's good? And then I realized nobody knew. And I guess what woke me up most of all was Teilhard de Chardin and Buckminster Fuller. Because Teilhard de Chardin was a Catholic Jesuit, never published by the church in his lifetime. He studied evolution from the beginning of creation to the present. And he noticed a direction in evolution. This was what really turned me on. Here's the direction.
Okay.
I bet you can guess. If you start with single cells and get to us, if
Right.
you want to look at any direction, here it is. Greater consciousness, single cell, multi-cell, animal, human, greater consciousness. Number 2, greater freedom of the individual, enormously greater freedom.
Yep.
Number 3, greater complexity that empowers us to connect in love. Complex whole systems, complexity.
Relationships in complexity.
And the complexity in our culture of all the different systems, making that into a comprehensive whole. So I noticed that I have a desire for greater consciousness, more freedom, and more love, and more connectivity with my love. So I realized I am evolution in person.
Wow. Okay.
Everybody
Is evolution.
Their inner impulse is the same, is in the direction of the impulse of evolution. If you say yes to your own inner impulse, you get an idea of your personal life purpose, as well as a direction you can have faith in. So if you have faith in God, that's great, but it doesn't show up often for people. But if you have faith in 13.7 billion year direction, and it's in you, then what I got was empowered. I got empowered to realize that I had a unique contribution to make as a communicator to what's emerging. And because I trusted evolution, nobody had to invite me to do this. I was not a popular figure when I was, 35 years old. Nobody ever heard of any of this. So I had to do a big startup of how to talk about it, how to share that the human race has a future of great possibilities. And then I had, of course, people like Michael Beckwith and Donald Walsh, and so many more. And then I realized there's a whole vast community, like the ones you're interviewing. And then I realized not only that, we are at the brink of the next stage of consciousness, freedom, and complex order. So I said, you know what, folks? Our crisis is the birth of a new humanity.
Right.
Go tell the story.
Right. Beautiful. And if you're wondering who I have in the studio today, it is the mother of invention. Perfect timing for Mother's Day. A book written about her by one of my past guests, Neil Donald Walsh. Beautiful, intelligent, smart, and very, very inspiring. Barbara Marx Hubbard, is here in the studio today. So I would like to do a little exercise now. and just have all my listeners close their eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose and release through the mouth. And Barbara, I'm going to ask you to vision out what you think is going to be our evolution towards in 2088. I'm going to use your birthday. 2088, yeah. And see what comes out of that. The brilliance and the picture.
I think that since our crisis is the birth of a new humanity, that we will have found a way, first of all, that there will be no more hunger. No
Yay.
more war.
Yay.
And there will be no more unnecessary illness. I feel certain there will be life extension. There will be many people living longer and longer lives.
I love that vision.
I'm certain that there will be a nervous system on the internet and beyond that is connecting humanity as a living organism for the very first time. And we will, if we haven't destroyed ourselves, we will have evolved ourselves to recognize that we have the information and know-how, as Buckminster Fuller said, to make this world work for everybody. Everybody.
Yes.
So then I see that we create a resonant field on planet Earth, and we will discover we're not alone in the universe. We will discover that there are other life forms, and they can't reach us as long as we are so dissonant, so angry.
Right.
We cannot be reached by its parent.
Hello. I have somebody on. Hello. Can I help you?
Yes. And this is a Spanish radio station.
Oh, I'm sorry. We thought someone else was calling in. We'll call you back later. This is the wrong number. Sorry. I'm expecting someone else to call in, Barbara. Sorry, that's the only reason why I answered it. But I'm sorry, you were saying?
That I think we'll discover, as long as that a newborn baby, if it's screaming, can't find its parents, can't reach them. I believe that there will be enough people like you, Marissa, that are in the media, on television, on all kinds of communication. So we will have a receptivity to what's beyond us.
Right.
We're in a universe of billions of galaxies.
Right.
So like tonight, I'm interviewing a woman called Jean White Eagle, who has written a marvelous book and just is in developing a galactic university idea. And this is a university for the evolutionary futurists and contactees who want to come in.
Okay.
And you know, what would you do if you were an extraterrestrial trying to communicate? Well, you might go to Michael Beckwith and get on his stage, but you have to go somewhere.
Right,
and
right.
You couldn't go to the CNN evening news.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that we'll discover ourselves as a living system, that we will have vastly increased our creative potential. We'll find we're not alone in the universe, and that we ourselves are sending our own people out, and eventually we will be colonizing other planets.
And it's interesting because it's still considered a little woo-woo or a little kind of off the charts of mainstream understanding. So, but on the other hand, so was meditation until recently.
What's considered woo-woo that I just
said? The whole that we're going to get contacted, that we're not the only ones. That I mean,
I think it's actually stupid to think with billions of hundreds of billions of planets that we're the only ones.
Right.
Actually, I think we should not call that far out.
Yeah.
To say we're not alone. I mean, what I'm saying is that the likelihood is that we're not alone, and the likelihood that we will be contacted. And so there's this generation who are using the word woo-woo, and they are the woo-woo ones. They really are.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody says it's absolutely impossible for there to be other life in the universe, they are the woo-woos.
Right. Right.
We have to reverse that label.
Yes. We have another caller. Can I ask who's there? Hello? Nope. Okay. I have a surprise for you, but we're missing the the caller, Barbara. All right.
Oh.
So, all right. So the whole evolvement of the human race. Now you gave a beautiful vision that I absolutely hope for and I want to believe. But then the news this morning was our 43rd president has now undone the nuclear agreement. And with, sometimes the media does go a little overboard with, as a weapon of mass distraction, as Michael calls it. And there's a lot of negative things. Is it a 310? It's the same one. Okay. Let me just make sure this is not the person that we're waiting for here. Hi, Dr. Marissa. Can I help you? Hello? It's who's on the line? And there's nobody on the line. Okay. We're going to get this right. But so as beautiful as your vision is, what do you say about the rising level of instability that seems to be happening on our planet?
Well, I do think that's calling for those of us who know more in every field to start being more stable and more communicative and more connected.
Okay.
And I want to say something about democracy. It was a great advantage over monarchy. Mm-hmm. And people lived and died for this right that we have to vote. However, it's still win-lose structure.
Right.
And what I am describing that is already happening, I'm calling synergistic democracy.
Right.
This call is a part of synergistic democracy. You're on media. Mm-hmm. You're interviewing people like myself and so many others. And if we had one more degree of connectivity of the voices just on your interview show. Right. You would find, my course is called Awaken the New Species in You. Mm. And here's what I think. This is radical. Mm-hmm. But I think we're giving birth to a new species. And I have a new name for us.
Okay.
Would you like to know?
Yeah, I would love to know the name of our new species.
Here it is. Homo amore universalis.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Homo, man, mm-hmm. Amore, able to communicate through evolutionary love, the direction of life. Universalis, using all the universal capabilities on this planet, as well as in the universe beyond. And people who feel attracted to participating in all of this are, like myself, members of Homo Amore Universalis.
Beautiful.
And I think what's lovely about it is then you start making the linkage between our vocational capabilities, our increased spirituality, our high-level desirous to connect with each other, all the innovators in all the fields, plus the high-tech genius like a Singularity University. Marissa,
yes.
Did people ever think to put this together?
Right.
And so that's one of my jobs.
Perfect. And we do have the right caller on right now. There's someone here that is going to turn down their computer, which is why we can't hear you. If you could just turn down your computer. Yes, and that way we can hear you. That's why we couldn't hear you.
Okay.
So here we go. I have a special caller here. Did you have something to say to my guest today?
Yes, I'm the daughter of Barbara Marx Hubbard. I want to wish her a happy Mother's Day.
Oh, that is Suzanne. She's my eldest daughter.
Now I'm...
Oh, this is so wonderful, Suzanne. What a marvelous surprise. Suzanne herself is an author and a writer, and a weaver. And I'm so proud of her because as the eldest daughter of the eldest mother here, she is carrying the flame forward in her own work.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Suzanne, could you hear that? That was a nice, huge compliment to you.
Yes, Suzanne, I'm so delighted to hear your voice, and I can't wait for our family
Can you hear me
reunion. We
now?
have a family reunion once every year. Suzanne and her husband hosts it in Vashon Island, and I'm going to meet with all the members of the family and spend time with my beloved daughter.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Suzanne, what are you most grateful for when it comes to your mom?
Okay, when I speak, will she hear it?
Yep. I think, Barbara, can you
Yes,
hear her?
I'm hearing what you're saying. I do.
Mom, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, thank you, Mom.
What are you most grateful for your mom?
Okay, Mom, what I'm most grateful for is you are such a model for Mom. You're such a model. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can actually hear you, but if you turn down your computer or turn it off altogether.
It's totally down.
Oh, okay. So then it must be the phone with the Zoom. We can hear you though.
Okay. Mom, what I'm most grateful for is that you're such a model for anyone who has a deep calling, because you've created a context for these callings.
Beautiful.
Yes, I really appreciate that thought, Suzanne, because
you're such a model for anybody who has a deep calling.
Yeah, and she said thank you very much for that.
It's completely turned down.
Oh, you can't hear yourself now.
We can hear you. I hear you very well.
All right. Well, I so appreciate you calling in and surprising your mom, and we did it. Woohoo! We had like three.
Marissa, thank you for thinking of that.
Absolutely. I wanted it to be special. Well, thank you for calling in, Suzanne.
So important.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Marissa.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
Love you so much.
Oh, she loves you so much. Did you hear that?
Yes, thanks, sweetheart. I love you so much.
All right. And that was Suzanne Hubbard calling in to wish her mother, the mother of invention, Barbara Marx Hubbard, a happy Mother's Day. And I'm glad that we could make that happen. And it is time for me to take a quick break, Barbara, for our station ID and thanking our sponsors that made this show possible today. So we're going to be back in 2 and 2. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and another child dies. Yes, every 4 seconds, someone dies from drinking contaminated water, and that's the bad news. The good news is that the Purity filtration system provides clean, fresh, and safe drinking water, and for every 2 water bottles sold, 1 is shipped to a child in need. Contact Heshy Siegel at kidsbetterworld.com for this win-win-win, life-giving answer to contaminated water today. Wonderful. All right, we're back. And Heshy Siegel is one of the fabulous people who are making that vision you had of 2088 come true. She works with a water company, and if you buy 2 water containers that are self-filtrating, 1 gets sent to a child in Africa, which is really nice. So, and we are speaking today. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network, and then every Thursday at 7 and Saturday at 6 on my CNBC, NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, and FM 106.5. Everywhere on iHeartRadio and Spotify. And today we have, to celebrate Mother's Day and my 6th year on the air, on camera, Barbara Marx Hubbard. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Great. Now, you also started out as a Jewish agnostic. So I thought that was like a super fabulous, interesting thing to have on Wikipedia. Tell me about that. And by the way, my mom was adopted by a Russian Jewish woman. So I have an uncle Moishi and an aunt Penny and Aunt Ethel. And I grew up doing high holidays. Just so you know, in case you really thought I was, Chinese.
I say Jewish agnostic because I was born during the Second World War. And my father was, we lived in New York City, and he didn't want us to, he had no religion. So he didn't want us to know anything about being Jewish. And he was trying to save people from Nazi Germany. But by not being religious himself, he didn't like the idea of his children having to hear something that is being annihilated. So I just grew up with no religion at all. I was very happy, actually, at Dalton School and all of that. My mother died. My father moved us to Scarsdale, New York. And I was then sitting with a group of young students there at Rye Country Day School, and they were telling what religion they were. And they were all different versions of Christianity. And so they got to me, and I said, "Oh, I'm an American." They said, "No, you're not. You're Jewish, and the Jews killed Christ."
Ooh.
These are the Christian young girls telling me. And I was not allowed to go to a dance at the Westchester Country Club.
Wow. Because
anti-Semitism, which, most of us don't even think about here anymore, but anti-Semitism, social anti-Semitism was very, very real in Scarsdale, New York.
Yeah.
And then I was outraged. And I went to my father. I said, what is this? And he was there was nothing he could do. He couldn't protect his daughter from being ostracized for being something she even wasn't, much less might have been. And then I decided to run for president of Rye Country Day, which was the place where they thought Jewish people were to be ostracized. And my brother helped me, and he brought balloons.
All right.
I won the election, and I became president of Rye Country Day School. It was an awesome shock to them that this could have happened.
Yeah.
But what I learned from it is if you seek power for prestige, and you have no reason, I had no reason to be president of Rye Country Day School. I wanted to show off.
Right.
That I couldn't stand that I was being excluded because of something that was hardly even real to me.
Right.
And then after that, I began to realize the total ridiculousness of prejudice. And I'm appalled by it whenever I confront it, for whatever it is, whether it's against the Jews, against the blacks, against the blacks, against the whites. So it's a way of seeing things that is no longer viable in any sort of prejudice whatsoever. So I would say that threat personally about prejudice has made me realize that anybody who's suffering from it needs to say no. It's just like the whole Black Power movement. Right. They're not taking that anymore.
Right. Right.
Black Power matters.
Yes.
And people have stood up for themselves who had been prejudiced. But it's still in the human psyche to exclude. And the kind of humans that we're talking about coming forward and being connected are the ones that include.
Right.
So it's a difference of human evolution.
Yeah.
And some people are not highly evolved.
Right. That's the Homo amore. Yeah.
Homo amore universalis. The new species is all motivated by evolutionary love. I'd like to talk about that word for a minute. It's the love that comes from the source of creation. If you can visualize it through many spirals of evolution, that driving force that got us from no thing at all to everything that is on this call right now, we're calling evolutionary love. It's God's love. It has the capacity to evolve from no thing at all to everything it is.
Yeah.
it has the capacity to have you and me sitting here with nervous systems. We have trillions of cells in our bodies.
Right.
We're talking through the mass media now. I've got a computer in front of me that links me worldwide.
Right.
And we're already homo amore
Universalis. Yeah.
So I am making a declaration of who we already are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is only the beginning. And I have a class that I'm doing now of Awaken the New Species. There are 400 people signed up. And what's good about them is they already feel that.
Mm.
And then I'm teaching a book called The 52 Codes, 52 Codes for Conscious Self-Evolution that came from my own universal self, that more or less guides us to become who we truly are.
Right, right.
I would say, along with many other important things, the wake-up call of us becoming who we potentially are, all of those who are evolving, who are creating, who are connecting,
Mm-hmm.
are citizens of the world.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And the way it's going to go depends on what we do.
Right.
It's not somebody else.
Right. It is up to us.
That's right.
And we
So
are
everybody who says, I don't know how it's going to go, you ask them what they're doing about putting it in the right direction.
Good response. Good response.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want to hear another complaint from somebody who's not making it better.
Right. That's why I run the 21-day fast from complaining online. Yes, because that's exactly.
So
Yeah.
just take Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously, I have not voted and would not vote for Donald Trump. But what he's done actually is reveal a truth that has to be known.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are willing to separate out and willing to do this, and that has to activate us.
Right, right.
And I think it's great that so many people are running for office now, but I'd like to say that connecting via the media and making, here's my vision,
Mm-hmm.
celebration of what's working on the internet as the new story of humanity.
Mm.
I would like us to do a major big event that breaks through this evolutionary torpor and sleepiness of a half-informed human race
Mm-hmm.
to the fact they're being born as a universal species, for God's sake.
Right, right. Literally, for God's sake.
Wake up, folks. It's not okay.
Right, right. We have to. We're be the change you want to see.
Right.
Fundamentally.
Homo amore universalis.
Love it. Like that's the. I've been posting that you are the advocate and the cheerleader for humankind. Emphasis on kind. And that's your role. And
Yes.
it's awesome. And I would like to give you an award that I give not all my guests, but those who are making tremendous strides on making us as a human race better. And that's Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award.
Oh, how lovely. What a nice award. I love that. That's a great idea that you do that.
Yes. So you go on that list, and I'm so grateful that I got to spend a little time with you and, glean some of your beautiful wisdom and your theories and your vision, especially of where we're going to. And the last question, is there anything, your final thought that you'd like to give my listeners on, how to just have a more peaceful life?
I would just to say to notice what's attracting you and say yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Notice what's attracting you to express or be or become and say yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And the last question I always ask my guests is the same one I asked your daughter, Suzanne, when she called, is what are you most grateful for?
Gosh, that's a wonderful question.
Oh, thank you.
I am grateful for so many things, my wonderful family, my children, the opportunity I was given because my father had some resources and he gave them to me and I used them for my work. I made toys and I made the future. And I think I'm also really grateful to be born an American.
Mm.
At the time when America is on the stage of history and needs to wake up to its destiny, of giving people and being part of the movement for people taking responsibility. And I'll just say one last statement here
Yes.
from Thomas Jefferson. I've made an evolutionary statement for Thomas Jefferson. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All people are born creative, endowed by our Creator with the inalienable right and responsibility to express and connect our creativity for the good of ourselves and the whole Earth family.
Beautiful. That's
Okay.
yeah. I'm going to cut that part out and play it every morning. That's very inspiring. Thank you so much, Barbara Marx Hubbard, here in studio.
Love you.
I
Thank you
love
very, very
you.
much.
I love you more. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate that you're doing this.
Aw, thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that was Barbara Marx Hubbard here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. And we are at the end of the show where I invite you to step up to my balance bar, where we have different ways to balance. And the first is the 21-day fast from Complaining with Dr. Marissa. We are around 83, and it is day 8 on the fast, and it's drive-by compliment day. So the tip is you'll complain less if you compliment more. So I'd like you to find 8 people today for the rest of the day to walk by and give them a drive-by compliment, which means you don't look for the reaction and try to make it as sincere as possible, and it will help you not complain. If you haven't gotten the app yet with the daily tips on it, as well as a way to track your complaints, it's on both platforms, and it was made by teenagers, so get that for your good health. And next month, I've been invited to cover Share Inc. 65 Years of Philanthropy at the annual Boomtown Gala, honoring Lorene Arbus and featuring a performance by the Righteous Brothers. You've lost that love and feeling. And then Martha and the Vandellas. And that one's a little harder, Dancing in the Streets. You can imagine that. One afternoon in 1953, 7 women, 7 wives of the infamous Rat Pack, met for lunch with a mission to passionately improve the lives of children and adults with special needs. Fast forward 65 years, Share has now raised an impressive $65 million for multiple charities with a night out to remember. So join me. Go to share the number 4children.org to get your tickets and join me there. I am teaching Balanced Tai Chi Gong this week, Thursday night at the School for Multidimensional Healing in Irvine, 7 to 8:30. You can find that on Meetup, as well as on Saturday at Rosie's Dog Beach in Long Beach. I would like also to, do we have time to play that music? And we'll do the other sponsorship. Here we go. Are you lonely, broken? We'll start that again. Are you lonely, heartbroken, hopeless? Are you taking anti-anxiety or antidepressants and still anxious and depressed and now have side effects on top of it? Then 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are was written just for you. Dr. Marissa's newest book, A Cross Between I'm Okay, You're Okay, and You're Still Okay, and Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and the Big Stuff, will get you to happiness 88% of the time, and you will never hate yourself the same way again. Pre-order at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million today. And yes, that is my book, and it is coming out at August the 7th this summer, and you can get the link to pre-order. And the foreword was written by Michael Bernard Beckwith, who we've been talking about, as well as an endorsement on the back by Neil Donald Walsh. So I'm so super excited about my newest baby. Took 9 months to write, to bring that to you, to really get you to 88% happiness. If you are someone who has connections with PR, radio, TV, newsprint, magazines, bookstores, please let me know. I'd love to go visit and share this new baby with you. And let's see, that's it for Balance Bar. Next week, it's another call-in show where I get to help callers balance their life tires and smog check their stinking thinking. Yes, it's Dr. Marissa, also known as the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. So if you would like to get on that list so you don't have to wait, please contact me at the number 4balance.org and sign up for your free advice that I don't always use. That's next week on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, E-I. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
To take away the part of me that wants to stay.